Saints going all the way, Saints going all the way. Kumbaya, this the Who That Nation. Game on the line, you can bet we take them. Go black and gold, black and gold. Don't stop, boy, we trying to win the Super Bowl. We rock and roll, rock and roll. Touchdown, go Saints, we gonna do it some more. We rock and roll, rock and roll. Touchdown, go Saints, now give me some more. Now, who that, who that, holla, who that, who that, holla, who that, who that, holla, who that, who that, who that, who that, who that nation. Black and gold, black, black and gold. Oh yeah, fire stuff. Black and gold, black and gold, black, black. Who that, who that? They ain't ready, they ain't ready, they ain't ready for us. They ain't ready, they ain't ready, they ain't ready for us. They ain't ready, they ain't ready, they ain't ready for the black and gold, black, black. Who that, who that? They ain't ready, they ain't ready, they ain't ready. What up? They ain't ready, they ain't ready, they ain't ready. What up? They ain't ready, they ain't ready, they ain't ready for the black and gold, black, black and gold. Game time, baby, and I go for the Saints. I was born in New.
This video is brought to you by BETUS Sportsbook and Casino.
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. It's all dog around this mug. I'm good.
Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, Timothy J. Jones. I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And alongside me, I got my big brother, EJ Jones, to co-host the pregame show for week number 1, Saints versus the Carolina Panthers, man. And we're live right here at the Little Easy Restaurant, 634 Julia Street in New Orleans. Man, week 1, man, it's finally here, man. It's been a minute since we really got some football that actually had some meaning. What's your thoughts on it, man?
Man, football is back, and I'm so happy. I'm tired of dodging baseball, dodging soccer, dodging the Olympics. It is so good to have football back. College football, high school football, and NFL football.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better than this, man. It doesn't get better than week 1, first game of the season. I mean, I don't care if you were the worst team in the league last season or the best. I mean, everybody has a chance to get to that Super Bowl right here in New Orleans, man. But, you know, it's going to start with the New Orleans Saints here in week 1 versus the Carolina Panthers, and we're going to start right there. I mean, a lot of questions have been asked about this team. What's it going to look like in 2024? New offensive coordinator with Clint Kubiak, also a new offensive philosophy, man. But what are your thoughts on this team right now? And what do you think about the offense, and what do you think we're going to expect week 1?
Well, I think what we can expect in week 1 is for the Saints to come out and really trying to run that ball. Clint Kubiak, his offense is based on zone principles, running that ball. That offensive lineman got to be in cohesion at all times. It's a different blocking scheme than what they had with, say, Sean Payton back in the day. So they're going to really try to run them balls. So the offensive line and the running back can be real important during this first game. In a lot of ways, the first game can kind of make and break your season as far as like confidence. So, I mean, they got to get out and just try their best and try to really run that ball.
Yeah, I think that, you know, it's hard for me to sit up here and, you know, think about what this team is actually going to be. I know, like, the morale of the Who That Nation is kind of low because of, you know, the head coach, question marks around Derek Carr. Is he the right guy to lead the team? But, I mean, I think that this is what the Saints needed. I mean, last season, you know, we were concerned about Pete Carmichael. Was the offense a little bit passé? But now they're trying to bring in a brand new offense that has shown that it works in the National Football League. And, I think that the Saints can put up some points, man. And I also think that the element of surprise might be beneficial to this team, for them to be able to go out here and generate some points. But we got to talk about the Carolina Panthers too, man. They did an overhaul as well. They got rid of a lot of key players, Sign Reddick, Brian Burns. Like, these guys are no longer with the team. You got Bryce Young going into his second season. Wasn't exactly what they expected. But they do have Dave Canales, man, who really put his magic touch on Baker Mayfield last year. Looked really good. Geno Smith a year before that, out there in Seattle. So what do you think about the Carolina Panthers? Do you think Carolina Panthers got enough firepower here?
As bad as Carolina on offense last year, they got only up to, and it was 2 and whatever last year. It's 14, 15 years, a lot of losses. Yeah. But as bad as they was on offense, don't expect them to be that bad this year on offense or whatever. I mean, their offense, they want to run the ball too. I mean, they got Chuba Hubbard in the backfield, probably one of the fastest running backs probably in the league. They're not going to be as bad as they were last year. They spent $150 million on 2 guards. Yeah. So they're going to run the ball. You get those 2 guards, you spend that much money on 2 free agent guards, you're going to run the football. Yeah. So the Saints, I mean, they got to be on their P's and Q's. They can't be fooled by all the misdirection that the Carolina Panthers are going to do today. But they're going to run the ball. Carolina will improve, and this will not be any cakewalk by no stretch of the imagination. Yeah. So they got to really be on their game today.
Yeah, they definitely got to be on their game. But I think the benefit of actually having an offense similar to the Carolina Panthers this season might pay dividends to the New Orleans Saints. I think the biggest issue that they had when they were facing offenses like this in the past is they weren't prepared for it every week. So now you have an offense that kind of similar to the Carolina Panthers. Now you have an opportunity to be able to try to neutralize some of the things that they're going to bring to this game. But let's go ahead and give a special shout out to everybody tuning in right now. We got 104 people watching this so far. Once again, we're at the Little Easy Restaurant, 634 Julia Street out here in New Orleans. So if you're on your way to the game, come on in and stop by, man. Say hello to your boy. Also say hello to EJ. Got Chosen over there, man. Shouts out to Chosen over there at the bar.
He just warming up for the game.
He just warming up, man. But that's just the support, man, from the Who Dat Nation, man, and also people that been supporting the show throughout the years, man. And I'm very appreciative to all the people that's going to come through. This you might want to come through because they got a drink special there. Shouts out to Jay, the bartender. He said that they got $3 shots, man. $3 shots before the Saints score, and $3 shots every time the Saints score.
Boy, especially if y'all going to that game around the game, y'all better get here.
Exactly, man. So look, if you think that the Saints offense gonna be vanilla ass ice cream, you might want to come through, man.
If you had dreams of Henny and Coke, Crown Royal, you better get down here.
Exactly, man. So come on by, man. 634 Julia Street out here in New Orleans, man. Let's go ahead and read some of the comments from the Who Dat Nation, man. See what they got to say. Brute says 2 hours until real football begins, man. Hey, man. This is an exciting time. I mean, preseason, it's all good, man, when you got some issues. The whole Spencer Rattler, Jake Hayner thing was a little bit exciting. But, man, this is what it's all about, man, to see where you are and how your team measures up. So let's talk about that. How do you think the Saints with other teams in the NFC South? I mean, you talked about Carolina. Atlanta fans, they're excited about some of the upgrades that they have.
Wow, I have. These Falcons fans, boy, I swear. My goodness. Man, these Facebook groups are wow. Yeah, you would think they won 3 Super Bowls the way the Falcons talking today, but it ain't about them. As far as the Saints, how they stack up in the NFC, I mean, they stack up pretty good. Right. I mean, I put them toe-to-toe with anybody in this division. Even with the Falcons' improvements that they seem to think they made on defense, spending all this money, I still think the Saints have the potential to win this division, just like I did last year. And a lot of people talk bad about the Saints, how bad they did, but they was 9-8. Yeah. And if it wasn't for Tampa Bay, they'll be in the playoffs. Yeah. So we just, we have to improve and see how, exactly what we need to do to actually improve. But I think this is a winnable division.
Yeah, I think it's a winnable division too, man. And I just don't understand the whole concept of all these teams in the NFC South. they've all made upgrades, right? They all made upgrades. The things that were lacking, like you said, Carolina with the offensive firepower. You know, they added Deontay Johnson. They got Xavier Legette. They got Sanders out of Texas, young rookie that's going to play today. Yeah. So I mean, and then you look at Tampa. They made some improvements as well. So why is it that these teams can make the improvements and they're on the uptick? However, if you look at the New Orleans Saints, they made the improvements. New offensive coordinator, right? That was the issue with the New Orleans Saints. You bring Kool-Aid McKinstry, a young, promising rookie. Also, Willie Gage, bringing a little speed to the linebacker room. Why is it that the New Orleans Saints aren't getting the credit for upgrading their team, and they're supposed to take a little bit of a back step here?
I think it's the names, to be honest. The Falcons signed some flashing names. Justin for flashing name, got them thinking they about to win the Super Bowl. Carolina spent all this money on the tackle. I mean, on the guards, $150 million. That's a lot of money on 2 players. So, I mean, I'm guessing that's why. I mean, Saints, like I said, there was 9-8. They just have to make some subtle changes or whatever to try to, and as far as a schematic change, they will be a running team, but honestly, this new offense, I think, know who I think this new offense will help? Trevor Penning.
Really?
I think it'll really help him. Because you think about when he was at Northern Iowa, that was a running scheme they had at Northern Iowa. And he's a mauler. I hate to say it, but that's what he is. He's not a left tackle. Never have been a left tackle. Maybe he worked in college, but I think it's going to help him today.
Yeah. And
I think we're going to see today how much that improved.
Yeah. I mean, that's what the Y zone is all about, man. That's what this offense of your team. And I also think it's going to help out Derek Carr, man.
Yep.
He is a play action quarterback, man. His numbers analytically are really high when the play action game is involved. So if you get AK involved, get Jamal Williams. I don't know if Jordan Mims is going to play today, but if you can get that 3-headed attack on, man, it will help out. And if you find success on the ground, it will set up some of those big splash plays down the field. You got Shaheed. You got Olave, man. So you got some talented guys on the outside that can go get it, that can fly, man. And also, man, Chris Olave, people don't give him credit. I know they want him to get the yards after the catch. Hopefully we see some of that today. This guy ran a 4.26. Man. So it's not like, he can't hit his head on the goalpost just like Shaheed can. But let's look at the depth chart, man. We got the depth chart up here of the Carolina Panthers, man. It starts with Bryce Young. 11 touchdowns, 10 interceptions last season, man. What do you think? Do you think you're going to see an improvement from Bryce Young in this game?
He's going to improve. I mean, expect him to improve. 11 touchdowns. Expect that number to double this year. I mean, even if they do run the ball, you got Xavier Legette, who's in this offense is probably going to be something like a Deebo Samuels, in my opinion. I think he can do it all. I think he can run with the ball. He can catch the ball, do a little blocking downfield. If you get receivers that can block downfield, you're going to have a 1,000-yard running back every single year. And that's what I think Carolina's going to be. And you speak about Derek Carr with the play action. I think Derek Carr with the play action, not Derek Young. You talk about Young, as far as like with the offense, I think he's going to be doing some play action too because he's not the biggest person in the world, so they got to move the pocket around. And he's not the easiest person to tackle either. So expect him to improve all across the line or whatever.
Well, I mean, hopefully he doesn't play like a Derek Young today.
Like hopefully not.
But let's go ahead and switch gears to Derek Carr, man. The morale of who that nation surrounding Derek Carr is a little bit low. Came in last season, a lot of fanfare. People thought that maybe he can be that succession plan for the New Orleans Saints. But the relationship between city and quarterback has not been, lock and step here. What can Derek Carr do this season to get some of the members of the Who That Nation back on his side and have them believing their number 4 can get the job done for the team?
Win kills everything. Say if the Saints go 12-4 this year, you think they're going to be talking about what Derek Carr did last year? No. Derek Carr had 25 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. On a lot of teams, a lot of playoff teams, that's what their ratio was. So by and large, his stats wasn't bad. It was just the fact that the offense is just kind of up and down. But if he's a little bit more consistent, like you mentioned with the play action and all of this other kind of stuff, if the Saints can run the ball, which they haven't really been doing like the last 2 or 3 years consistently, he shouldn't have a problem. I think that ratio he'd be even bigger. I'm talking maybe like 30 touchdowns, 5 interceptions or something like that. So if he's more consistent on offense and the offense more consistent as a collective, we won't be talking about Derek Carr as a problem with the who that nigga. He'll get the free beignets at the shop, the free drinks. He'll get people delivering groceries at his house, which I'm already sure he already do. Yeah. But he'll get the treatment.
Yeah. Look, I just think I agree with you. I said this whole Dennis Allen, Derek Carr thing would have resolved that is winning, man. You got to win the football game. I mean, look, fair or unfair, he is being compared to one of the greatest quarterbacks, not just in Saints history, but NFL history and Drew Brees.
And that just comes with the territory. It's not his fault.
Man, heavy is the head that wears the crown. And he's wearing the crown right now, man, and he got to be able to go out there and make some plays, man. I understand about the stats. A lot of people feel like that was kind of like padding stats, making the stats look appealing. But for those that are like, glass half full type individual, you can't say they won 4 out of their last 5 games. And he had 14 touchdowns, 2 interceptions towards the end of the season. You can talk about the level of competition. You can talk about the quarterbacks they played, but he still showed the capability of doing that. So hopefully he can get the job done here. Let's go ahead and read a little bit more. We got Tyree says, good luck to y'all. It's going to be a good game, says Tyree. Giving a shout out to us. Shouts out to you, Jerry. Thank you for being here. We got Kevin says, who that dog? Rowdy. And up early. Yeah, man.
We up, boy.
Yeah, they up, man.
Up before breakfast.
Look, man, the bar is getting full over there, man. Got plenty of people over here off the little easy restaurant.
$3.
$3 shots, man. I'm telling y'all.
You can't beat that nowhere around.
Saints score, $3 shots every time they score. So, and if they don't score, they still
gotta come get this Crown Warrior, boy. $3.
So if you think that the offense about to get stale, you know what I'm saying? I want to get lit over here. You know what I'm saying?
Hopefully we don't need to, but yeah.
Today is going to tell somewhat of a story. Yeah, I think it is, man. Look, everybody's been saying this is almost like a playoff type game because you got some Saints fans on the fence, right? You got some Saints fans that feel like the Saints are, going to be better. It has like a playoff atmosphere for this game. Even though you're playing one of the teams that struggled last season. I mean, the Bears got Caleb Williams because of this football team, man. So do you think this is like a do or die, type situation for the New Orleans Saints? Looking at the schedule, next week you got the boys. Week 3 you got the Eagles. You got the Falcons, and you also got the Kansas City Chiefs. Man. So I mean, that's murderous row right there. So do you think that this is kind of a do or die situation for the Black and Gold?
I don't see a do or die situation. I think it's a measuring stick. All that you did over the summer and in practice, like the whole time preseason, this that report card time pretty much. How you gonna do? How you gonna do for your first game? And like I said, this first game might tell you a lot about how you're gonna do for the rest of the season. Right. They ain't got no what that old song is. They ain't got no half stepping right now. Yeah, this Carolina, but Carolina's improved. Then you say they got Dallas, the Eagles, and the Kansas City. I mean, that's like the hardest 3 games anybody got in the NFL. So they got to improve and they got to be on their P's and Q's.
Yeah, they definitely going to have to step it up, man. But at the same time, you can make an argument if you want to make a playoff run. If you want to be looked at as the creme de la creme among NFC teams, you got to be able to beat the Eagles. You got to be able to beat the Cowboys. Now, even though this is, for morale purposes, this is a game that you have to win. I feel like you need to win next week in Dallas. I feel like that would be a bigger statement than today because nobody, like, no disrespect to Carolina Panthers fans, but nobody checking for them as far as being a contender. So you're supposed to win this football game, but if you go to AT&T Stadium next week in Arlington and beat the Cowboys, that's a whole different story right there. So, man, they're going to have to step it up, man, make some plays and, show themselves to be serious. They got to beat at least 1 or 2 of these teams on this murderous road schedule.
We got to beat all these teams. If you're not preparing to beat every team on your schedule, I mean, why you here? Man, shoot, you got to be in all these games.
Yeah. So, all in all, as I move this dead rate out the way, I'm getting comments that I'm signing. Let's see if I can turn it up a little bit. Hopefully everybody can hear me. That's better? Saying I sound a little muffled. All right, so hopefully that fixed the issue. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me a little bit better. Yeah, it's a work in progress. Like I said, man, we on the road, so y'all let me know. We got the best quality control by quality control team. I mean, the Who That Nation. Say, hey, TJ, I just feel FYI, your mic is coming through lower than your friend's mic. your mix is a little muddy. Also, but it's intelligible. Okay, so I turned it up a little bit. Can y'all hear me now? Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me, man. If y'all can hear me, clap once. You remember?
Sound like school now.
Rest in peace to Mr. Jackson, my first principal right there. Okay, I turned it up real quick. Yeah, man. Hey, is this Chosen can slide through real quick? Let's see if you can get on camera real quick, man. Hold on. Let's see if we can get through. Hold on. All right. Let's see if we can slide Chosen through. We're going to slide. We're going to turn it over a little bit.
What's good? Who that?
Yeah. All right, so I ain't gonna be on camera, I ain't gonna be on camera for this one right here. But Chosen, what's your thoughts on black and gold, man? What you think they're gonna do this season, man?
Man, what's going on? Man, I'm not expecting too much, man. I'm just want to see a good game. Hopefully, just see some improvement for preseason. See what Clint Kubiak, see if he gonna really get into his bag. See if this offense got going on, and just making sure that this defense is gonna be what we already know what they expect. We expect for them to be, and man, I just want to see some good execution. I just want to see some fight. I just want to see some fight. If you're going to go down, fight. So no mediocre stuff, man. I'm just trying to see what we got, man. It's a new year, new season. It's 0-0. All the excuses out the way. No more excuses, man. This Dennis Allen team, he got the reins. Let's see what he do with it.
Yeah, man. Hopefully they can go ahead and get it done, man. No. Hopefully they go ahead and send us home with a victory.
We in a Superdome. They can't come to Superdome and punk us in our house.
Hey, man, they can't do that, man. Nah, you can't do that. Sorry, I got my hand all in the way, man. We using a webcam today from the computer. But thank y'all so much for being here. Thank y'all for keeping brother on the P's and Q's, man. I really do appreciate that. But look, this is Dennis Allen team, like Chosen just alluded to, man. Like, no more excuses. You can say in your first year, you still had some Sean Payton layovers. You still had Chris Richard, Ryan Nielsen, co-defensive coordinators there. You probably got some people in the corner when things going awry. Like, man, I can do a better job than you. Okay, you switch that around. You got a whole new defensive staff, right? The second season, and now the third season, you just do a complete overhaul of the offensive staff, man. So do you think that this is indeed a do or die year for Dennis Allen?
He had that freshman year, then they had that second year with us. It's that third year. It's kind of, you putting everything together. This ain't college where you got to wait for 4 years for people to develop.
Right.
They're professional. So you got the offensive coach that you wanted. You didn't have no more Sean Payton anything around. So, it's time to put up a shut up, so to speak. Like our mama said, you put up a shut up.
Right, exactly.
Show and prove. It's time.
Yeah, it's time to step up, man. There's only so many excuses you can get away with, man, before the organization has to look and see is the right man, calling the shots here. This is your time. This is your moment. Your team is constructed the way that you want it. If guys are still here, they're here because you want them to be. If you draft guys, you wanted these guys to be drafted. So we're 3 seasons in, and Dennis Allen has to get the job done.
Yep.
I want to take this moment to thank the fine folks at BETUS. The State of Saints podcast is powered by BETUS. The description link is down below. You can sign up today and get up to 150% on your first 3 deposits, up to 2,000 of them things. All right. And the Saints right now are -4. If you believe that the Saints are -4, man, you can go to BETUS, hit that link, place your bets. I'm just letting you know, man, this game is going to be nip and tuck. I don't see the New Orleans Saints just going out there completely just mud walking the Carolina Panthers.
I agree.
In years past. We know, man, no matter how bad Carolina is, they always come through formidable when they're going up against division foes. Do you get any indication that this will be? Shouts out to the Panthers fans walking through. But, do you have any indication that this game will be a blowout?
Nope. From either side. I think if the Saints underestimate the Panthers like they thinking they're the Panthers from last year, they might have a problem.
Right.
So they got to come in, give them boys their respect, stay humble, and just do their thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Expect a closer game.
Yeah.
Panthers, as bad as they was on offense, that defense, fourth in the NFL in stats.
Yeah.
So this defense was pretty good. You got Derrick Brown's a run stopper. They moved him to end.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to do some things this year on defense. If that offense can improve 50% more than what they did last year, Panthers going to be a problem in the NFC South.
Yeah. Even last year, man, the final game of the season, the game that the Saints needed Tampa to lose. If Carolina would just score one offensive touchdown in that game, they would have won. I want to say, I don't know if it was Terrence Marshall or another receiver, but he tried to dive over the goal line, and the ball just bounced out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. If he would have scored that touchdown, the Saints would have been in the playoffs.
Yep.
So imagine if Carolina only had a little bit more firepower outside of Adam Thielen having 103 receptions last season. You didn't have anybody else. It was Adam Thielen and everybody else.
Yep.
But now you have Deontay Johnson. I mean, not a household name. I mean, he's talented, but he can be a 1,000-yard receiver. Xavier Legette, they expect for him to be that premier receiver.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's a big physical guy, man. I mean, I live out in South Carolina. You already know. I watch a lot of Xavier Legette games there. This guy is a big physical guy, man. Kind of resembles that of a Deebo Samuel a little bit, man. Big physical guy. So, likely right there. Shout out to Hood, man. Appreciate you for being here. Yeah, one man, we're at the Little Easy, man. 6:34-23. The game is about to be underway, an hour and a half, man. So, you got plenty of time to pass by, man. You can say what's going, what's up. They got $3 drink specials throughout the game. $3 before the Saints score. $3 shots every time the Saints score, man. So anyway it go, you're gonna get, you're gonna get your money's worth.
Y'all better get down here, boy. $3.
All right, man. Hey, special shout out to C Style. Thank you very much for the $2 donation, man. Shouts out to the channel, man. Shouts out to you, man. Appreciate that. And Josh, man, aka Axe a Bum, says the fan of the State of Saints podcast is here. Appreciate it. Football season is indeed here, man. Shouts out to Cartel, Hakeem, Giovanni. I know Pammy is in here. She's saying no cold motors. Yeah, man, you already know the motto. Speaking of cold motors, let's talk about the defensive side of the football. All right. Last season, you only had 34 sacks as a unit. All right. You bring in Chase Young, had 7.5 sacks. We know he was the second overall pick a few years back, man. We know what he's capable of. Chase Young can be that double-digit sack guy for you. And everything that we've seen in preseason, everything that we heard about in practice is saying that this guy's playing inspired football. And then you have Carl Granderson with 8.5 sacks he had last season. Brian Brzee, 4.5, poised for a really good sophomore campaign. What do you think about the construct of this defensive line? And you also have to think about this, Eve. You got Cam Jordan moving from the outside to the inside. We'll be playing more of the interior this season. So what do you think about the Saints NASCAR package and the addition of Chase Young?
I like Chase Young. I think, like I said, in the past, everybody thought he had the potential. He was drafted like it. He does have that potential, but his thing is injuries. I mean, your best ability is availability. If you ain't available, I mean, you can be as talented as you want, but you're talented on the sideline, sitting next to the coach. Right. But I like that position that he's in. I like the fact that Cam Jordan is in the middle now. I think he's too athletic for a lot of those centers and guards that he's going to be going up against. And Brian Brzee, I think he's going to have a monster year this year. Really? I do think he's going to have a monster year. I like what I've seen in the preseason with him and towards the end of the year. He when he was at Clemson, I mean, when he came out, he was like one of the best tackles to come out of high school. And at Clemson, he showed that. Right. And I think he's about to show that with the New Orleans Saints too. Yeah. So I like the front. They just got to get more sacks. Yeah. I'm thinking we need 45 plus sacks this year. Yeah. I'll say 50. Yeah. Look, man, this is what you need to do. I mean, it's also a testament, and I've been saying this quite a few episodes. It's a testament to this defensive secondary. For you to be able to hold down your man that long in order for your defense to be ranked top 10, top 15 in statistical categories, it's just a testament to how good this team has been defensively, man. But now you add on Chase Young. Like I said, Chase Young is one of those guys that could be a Myles Garrett. He could be like, a TJ Watt that could get you those multiple sacks, man. The guy looked basically unblockable. And I'm not just talking about against Trevor Penning and Tallahassee Fuaga, the rookie. I'm talking about when he was going out there playing against Arizona and some of the spurts that I seen him playing versus the 49ers. He was chasing after Brock Purdy. He was running for his life. And I'm telling you, if you can get this together, and if Carl Granderson can be able to capitalize on that 8.5 sack season, man, you have yourself a really good 1-2 punch because you already extended Carl Granderson. So around week 5, if Chase Young out there balling, you do not let him leave the building, man. You go ahead and get into negotiations right there and extend that guy and make sure that he's on your team for the foreseeable future right there. They got potential to be a lethal duo for the years to come. And both of them, I'll say it in their mid-20s. So they can be with the Saints for a long time, but it starts today, though.
Yeah, it starts today, man. I said, they said, did you see Zach Bourne out there balling out?
Yeah.
Hey, okay, man. So like that's an interesting question. That's the interesting point right here. We'll stop, talk about the game. We'll focus on this. Okay, so the front office, all right. We're seeing a little bit of a trend here where they're letting really good players walk out of the door, and when they go to their next stop, I mean, they're not just exceeding expectations. I mean, they're like some of the best guys in the league. I mean, look at Trey Henderson. What he had, 17 and a half sacks last season. I mean, imagine if he was on the Saints team. Those 17 and a half sacks could have done for you, man. Are you seeing an issue here when it comes to like some of these front office practices not being able to utilize the talent or not seeing that talent from these players that they're drafting?
I think it's twofold. I think it's what you just said, not utilizing that talent.
Right.
And also, let's be real, the Saints didn't have cap issues over the years. So I don't know if they didn't want to come out the pocket for Zach Brown. They didn't want to come out the pocket for Williams that wound up in Baltimore. They didn't want to pay him.
Right.
Henderson, they didn't want to pay him either.
Right.
So a lot of it is money, honestly.
Yeah.
But Zach Brown, he showed right. He balled out the other night.
Yeah, Bond, man.
Every time I look at the game, he was in the backfield doing something. So, man.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the scheme that kind of, show more of his talents in with the Eagles. They got a more, I guess, attacking scheme or whatever. But don't forget they got CD Deuce over there too that started.
Yeah. I mean, that's another guy, So, man, all in all, man, I just hope that they can actually utilize some of this talent that they actually have. Man, I just wish that they can actually do that. And, hopefully, they can stop, doing this. But hopefully, like, it seems to me that the New Orleans Saints, when it comes to the salary cap, shouts out to my sister that just walked through the spot. As far as like, some of these guys that they have on the team and the salary cap, it seems like they're trying to get themselves like to the middle. All right. And, so are the Saints trying to like give Dennis Allen like that wait and see approach, right? Like, okay, man, we trust you, put a little team together, but we're not going to overexert ourselves just in case, we got to go next season and make some difficult decisions here. So what do you think about this approach? They have, maybe $13 million in cap room right now?
That's better than what the Saints had in a long time right there, to be honest with you. We're in a win now mode. We've been like that for a couple of years now. We didn't blow anything up. We kind of just pieced things together. But now, for him, it's an important year because it seems like he got the team that he wants.
Right.
He got the coordinator that he wants. He runs the defense. He seems to have all of the players that he wants. So there's no excuse as to why we 7-9, 8-9, 9-8. There's no excuse that we shouldn't make a playoffs.
I agree.
So I mean, it's like I said, it's like put up or shut up, pretty much.
Yeah.
And Allen, one thing about him that I wish he was more aggressive. Like last year when we played the Falcons.
Right.
I wish that he, bumped the dude or whatever, gave him like, man, who you think you're talking to? Or something like that. Well, he kind of, okay, all right, passive.
Darren Rizzer was ready for the smoke, though.
Yeah, man, you got the dude about to be fine, he giving you lip. I ain't no hit the dude or whatever, but man, who you talking to, bro?
Darren Rizzer was ready for the smoke, man. I'm telling you, man, it was crazy.
That's the one thing I wish he had, that killer instinct. That's what I think he's missing, honestly.
And I think that was the deal breaker for New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Saints fans. The fact that you apologize to a guy less than 24 hours got fired by his own team. You know what I'm saying? Own team owner. So that kind of stuff right there, that's kind of flagrant stuff. Talking about that's not who we are. Well, you had Sean Payton over there putting up a choke sign for Deontay Freeman. Like
if that was Payton, he would have been for the smoke. I mean, just because we named the Saints don't mean we gotta go handle our business like Saints.
Yeah, exactly.
We ain't no Saints.
Right. Yeah, you gotta be able to. You gotta be able to be a little bit aggressive.
Football. This ain't golf.
Yeah. Shouts out to Alfred. Thank you very much for the 199. Says they made Jay quarterback 2 today. That's not a surprise to me. And I don't think anybody should take that, too literal and too serious, man, because if he does go out there and he doesn't perform, what do you think is going to happen? Let's just say worst case scenario, something does happen to Derek Carr. And regardless of how anybody feels about Derek Carr, I don't want to see either one of these young guys out here because I honestly feel like they're not ready for prime time. So if let's just say something does happen to him and Jake Haener goes out there and he plays and it doesn't go well, what do you think the Saints are going to do? They're going to go with Spencer Rattler, right?
Perhaps he might go for Spencer Rattler. Don't forget, we still got Taysom Hill on this team.
Yeah, right.
So I'm thinking about that's the old, how they say in church, the old ram in the bush.
Yeah.
But the only way that Jake Hayner got this position was because he had some meaningful time last year.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I think he got that number 2 job.
Good point.
I don't think he should read into this or whatever, because I would think we got a quarterback 2 and a quarterback 2B.
Right.
That's what I think we have to go back to school. But I don't think they're ready for what's to happen today. I think both of them still developing, into the kind of player they want to be. I think Hayner is more accurate. I think Rattler is more athletic, obviously, and he has a bigger arm, but we don't want to see them today.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to see those guys right now. My general concern is everybody's clamoring for Rattler, and we know that sometimes Saints fans don't have that patience. They don't exercise that. So let's just say, for example, he's not everything that you need him to be year one being out there. Then they're going to be souring on him, not giving him an opportunity and understanding that, man, there's levels to this. I think when you look at quarterbacks like C.J. Stroud, when you look at quarterbacks like Cam Newton when he came into the league, when those guys exceed expectations, those are outliers. But we have a tendency of looking at those players and being like, hey, that is what the player standard needs to be for a rookie. But it's not. It's just a testament to how good those guys are and how prepared those guys are. Sometimes they'll look like a CJ Stroud, which is an outlier. And then in other cases, you'll look like Bryce Young, right? 11 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. So I don't want to see him out there until I feel like he's very, very comfortable to a point where I feel like he can lead this offense and give Saints fans a really good impression on him. But we're this word from Hey, what's going on? It is yours truly, Timothy J. Jones, and I want to say thank you for checking out this video here on the State of the Saints podcast. And I want to let you know this season, the State of the Saints podcast is powered by BETUS. Sign up and save up to 125% on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. Go to BETUS to find out more. The description is down below. Thank you to the fine folks at BETUS. Once again, sign up today. Get 150% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. All you have to do is use the promo code YouTube150. That's YouTube150. But back to the game. Let's talk about the wide receiver room. I mean, that's another question mark, right? When you look at Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, you already know what you got with those guys. 2 talented guys came into the league at the exact same time. You got Shaheed with the speed. You can probably set up some motion plays, some jet sweeps there, hit his head on the goalpost. Chris Olave, one of the best pass catchers in the game right now. But after that, what do you got? I mean, you got Cedric Wilson coming over, former Dallas Cowboy, former Miami Dolphin. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, E. When you're playing in Miami, you got Jalen Waddle on one side, Tyreek Hill on the other. Then you also have A-Chain and also Raheem Mostert out of the backfield. I can understand how you could get lost in the sauce there. But I don't know, man. Everything that I'm hearing is about his blocking ability. I mean, did we just have an upgrade version of a Traquan Smith? Like everybody was talking about how great Traquan was as a blocker, but not too many catches, right? And then you also have A.T. Perry and Bub Means, the 4th-round pick out of Pitt. What do you think about this wide receiver room, man? Do you think that it will end up being an issue for the New Orleans Saints?
If injuries happen, perhaps. I think with Cedric Wilson, they're probably going to have him on kickoff return, punts, and stuff like that. He might play a little special team. Mm-hmm. I'm excited about A.T. Perry, though. Right. I mean, last year he came in, don't seem like he was rattled. Don't seem like the moment was too big for him. He came in and made plays. I expect that to happen more this year than it did last year. As much as they did last year either. Right. Like with A.T. Perry, he's always a downfield. He kind of reminiscent of Robert Meacham to me almost. Mm-hmm. Tall, speedy, always getting downfield. Yeah. People, underestimate his speed because of his size. Right. But as far as like with our 2 receivers or whatever, we got Olave and Shaheed. I mean, I think we good with those 2. Yeah. They kind of built almost the same. She's a little shorter, but the speed factor, I mean, we got some speed. Yeah. I like their speed. I like the fact that they don't miss too many drop balls either, especially Olave. Yeah. I watched the game on Thursday night, E, and I watched the Kansas City Chiefs and Baltimore Ravens. And both of those teams' offensive lines had their struggles, right? Mm-hmm. And also, I think with Baltimore, I think a lot of people aren't realizing because Lamar ran for over 100 yards,
they don't have anybody outside of Zay Flowers and Isaiah Likely. Who else was making plays? I mean, even in a running game, Justice Hill was catching the ball out of the backfield, but he didn't set the world on fire. Derrick Henry, they didn't utilize him correctly. So you got Rashad Bateman, but he didn't make plays. He made one play like towards the end of the game that kind of set up those 2 plays that could have won Baltimore or tied the game for him. So when I look at that, I'm like, y'all can at least, y'all at least got an extra wide receiver out there that can make up for the fact that Derek Carr don't run. And you also have Taysom Hill back there that could be that running quarterback for you in certain situations. So yeah,
tight end.
Exactly. So you have an offense. I just think that sometimes people start looking at the names. They start looking at the contributions and how other teams are putting up all these astronomical numbers. And now, if my team isn't looking like, I feel like my team is going to fail. My team isn't going to look as formidable. But you can win football games, man. I just think that some Saints fans are used to the Saints aerial assault, putting up 40 points every single game, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. So they feel like that is what the standard is. But we see teams changing things around, turning things around. Look at the Tennessee Titans when they had Tannehill. Tannehill, very limited as a quarterback. Ran a football with Derrick Henry, set up the play action. Teams have to respect that running ability of Derrick Henry, get the ball down the field. So do you think that they can, do you think they can still have a high-power offense with these guys with this skill set?
Shoot. And if you wonder if the Saints have a high-powered offense with this skill set and this kind of scheme that we run on offense, go look at the 49ers.
Right.
I mean, 49ers been my favorite offense for years. The way they use the offensive lineman, the way they use the fullback, tight end, which is a lost art, which a lot of people don't even use anymore. I love the offense. I love everything predicated on their zone and on the play action. That's the same stuff the Saints want to do.
Well, I mean, when we was growing up as kids, man, your favorite game was 9-6.
Yep. I don't even want to see a game that ain't got no defense.
But he used to love these 9-6 games, man, where they just running the football and just teeing off defensively. But, hey, man, I'm kind of a throwback too, man. I don't mind. Look, as long as when it's all said and done, my favorite team has the advantage when it's all said and done. I don't care how you do it. Right? Because you think people are going to remember week 1, around week 11? They're just going to remember you won that football game. Who remembers the score? I can't remember the score of the Super Bowl, right?
Nope.
Don't matter. It don't matter how close it was or, how insurmountable it was in some cases. People just know you won the Super Bowl. So I don't care. As long as they go out there and they're formidable, that's all that matters to me.
All that matters.
All right, we got 194 people watching this right now. We ask that you hit the like button. We are live at the Little Easy Restaurant, 634 Julia Street, right here in downtown New Orleans. So we're about to go to the game in just a few minutes, man. But you got plenty of time to come over here to the Little Easy. Man, they got people all outside, man. People all up and through this thing, man.
$3 drinks.
$3 drinks, man.
You cannot beat
$3 drinks, right?
Your drink.
$3 drinks.
Don't put something in your hand.
$3 shots, man. $3 before the Saints score and $3 shots every time the Saints score, right? And also, man, they got some really good food here as well, man. They got the cook in the bag, man. Shouts out to him. I seen him this morning, man. He was already up in there. I can smell the eggs and grits already. You know what I'm saying?
Fresh po' boy.
Exactly.
Eggs, grits, $3 drink.
Yeah, man.
Why y'all not here already? Come on.
And then you got food as well, man. So shouts out to the Little Easy, man, allowing us to host the State of Saints podcast here. I mean, it's kicking off, man. I'm looking out the window right now, man. I'm seeing plenty of folk. All right, so let's read some more of the comments here. Derek says, Rattler is our future. Don't want him in a fire just yet. Hainer go on out there and get made up. Okay, I'm not a fan of that. All right, look, I like Jay Hainer, and honestly, I think that people would have a different perception of Jay Hainer if Spencer Rattler wasn't on his team. But I just feel like he just, he's a casualty of war here, if you ask me. But I don't want to see Spencer Rattler out here. But I didn't ask you this, E. We did talk about their availability and being able to play. What have you seen from Spencer Rattler? I mean, you watch a lot of college football. You've seen him at Oklahoma. You've seen him at South Carolina. And now you see him with the New Orleans Saints. What is it to you about Spencer Rattler that makes him, on a lot of people's mind, the future of this franchise?
I mean, he has that excitability factor that Lamar Jackson has, that people thought about Michael Vick when he played. Not to compare him to Michael Vick,
right?
But he has that same kind of quality where you don't know if he's gonna scramble, run with the ball. He like to improvise too. That's what I learned from college about him. When coming out of high school, I mean, he's the number one quarterback coming out.
Right.
And so he had all the hot. He lost his job to everybody knew this Caleb Williams.
Right.
When he was at Oklahoma. He's a bit of a gunslinger. He's not one to take sacks too much, but he likes to scramble. He likes to try to make plays at all times. He can't hold the ball and he can't run into trouble in some cases. But to say I say all that to say this, I hope I don't see him today either.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ready for the smoke that Carolina got for him.
Yeah. I look at the defensive coordinator at Carolina, very underrated. Could be one of those guys, if some of these coaches lose their job, could be on the top of a lot of teams' list. You know, I mean, you have these defensive coaches that come in and that can generate success in the National Football League, even though a lot of people are saying, like, I want my team to get an offensive coach. But back to Rattler, man. Rattler is tough. You think about South Carolina and watching these games, and I've watched quite a few. That offensive line was terrible. Absolutely terrible. And the thing about it is, I feel like he's used to offensive line struggles. So he's able to navigate through those uncharted waters and be able to make plays despite the offensive line's imperfections. So I think that it wouldn't be too much for him to have that warrior mentality, to be able to get back. Also, like you said, he's not Michael Vick, he's not Lamar Jackson, but he can scramble out of the pocket. If I need 7 yards and it's man coverage, everybody's back is turned, let me get those 7 yards and slide, right? People are saying that the biggest issue that they had with Rattler was stemming back to his time in Arizona when he was in high school, which a lot of people feel like that was the reason why he fell down the draft board. Never asked you this, but do you think that had anything to do with teams' decisions of drafting Rattler and why he fell to the Saints at 150 in the 5th round?
It could have. I mean, him losing that job to Caleb Williams or whatever, and going to South Carolina, I mean, it could have. If his development from this second to last year to his last year wasn't good enough for teams, that probably could have had something to do with it. Teams want to know that you can make all the throws across the field and make positive decisions when you're actually on the field.
Right.
Like if somebody's blitzing, they rather you take a sack or a scramble rather than you just throwing the ball for an interception.
Right.
They want to know that you make good decisions. So I think it's a lot of teams didn't think he made those decisions. That's kind of why he fell down the draft board.
Yeah. I the fact that he fell down the draft board might be a blessing in disguise for the New Orleans Saints, because we talked about the cap issues. If this guy can work out, we see what's happening in San Francisco with Brock Purdy. It's the irrelevant. That's why they're able to bring some of these guys in to help them to get over that hump. So maybe this can be that get out of jail free card for the New Orleans Saints and help them get back to the middle when it comes to the cap. But we only have a few minutes left. Want to ask you about the game, man. Keys to victory for the New Orleans Saints. What do you see? How can the Saints be able to win this football game versus Carolina?
They got to control that line of scrimmage. If you're trying to run the ball, if you're trying to start a new culture, which is running the ball, zone blocking schemes, all that, you got to control the line of scrimmage. And that's going to be tough against a Carolina team that had over 50 sacks last year. So you got to control the line of scrimmage. That's the first one. Second one is whoever win that turnover battle. You know, that's all. It always comes down to the turnover battle.
Right.
So if they win that turnover battle, I think they could be a good day for the Saints too.
Yeah.
And as far as David Carr, limit his turnovers.
Derek Carr.
I think David Carr. Boy, I'm in 2000.
Yeah.
Derek Carr.
Derek Young.
Derek Young. That's the ball over.
Look, I get it, man. Look, sometimes I don't know who he is either. But go ahead, finish up, man.
But my last one is just him. You know, how they keep him upright. How offensive line is going to protect him, and how many strikes we get downfield. Because there are going to be some plays to be had. Because Carolina, they pressure defense. So you can find a lobby. I mean, if you can find our receivers downfield, I mean, it would be a good day for the Saints. But they need to do all three of them. Yeah,
they definitely got to do it. In my opinion, well, let me ask you this: who wins the football game?
I'll say the Saints win. The Saints will win, I think, 20-16.
Okay, 20-16. I think that's a fair score. To me, the keys of victory are control what you can control. All right, trust in the process. You know, running the football. All right. I mean, you got this new offensive coordinator in Clint Kubiak. People are making a big deal. Is he going to be upstairs, downstairs? I don't care where he is. As long as he's calling really good plays, running the football with AK, I feel like he will thrive in this type of offense. He's a smart guy. He has really good vision. He makes really good decisions. So aligning him with Clint Kubiak could be a match made in heaven here. So run the football with Alvin Kamara. Utilize Jamal Williams. And down the field for explosive plays with and also utilize Taysom Hill, man. We seen in that little spurt of preseason, that 96-yard drive, you've seen that he was able to run the football. They used him as a fullback, got him catching the ball out of backfield, and also being able to convert on third downs, man. Like not putting yourself behind the 8 ball with some of these holding penalties. Set up the 3rd and 4s, the 3rd and 2s, in order to be manageable downs, in order for you to be able to sustain some of these drives. I think that it's going to be a close game. Like I said, I got a lot of respect for Carolina and what they do. I think they're going to be formidable. I think the Saints can score at least 24 points, and I got the Carolina Panthers scoring 16. I think it's going to be one of those close games until like maybe the 4th quarter, where it's going to come down to who's making the best decision, who's putting their team in the best position to succeed. If they can do that, then I think the Saints are indeed going to be successful and have that 1-0 record. And maybe, some of the Who Dat Nation can calm down a little bit, because I can tell you, if they do not start fast and they start making mistakes, the atmosphere in the Superdome is not going to be a good one.
People are going to sober up real quick.
Man, people are going to, I think they have some Saints fans that's walking to the dome ready to boo today, man. I'm serious. But hopefully we don't hear that, because they hit the ground running. But thank you all so much for checking out the State of Saints podcast. I really do appreciate it. And thank you to my brother, man, EJ, coming through the spot, man, co-hosting with me. We'll be back for the post-game show. Win, lose, or draw, we'll be right here talking about the New Orleans Saints. Hopefully we have something positive to talk about. But in the meantime, we'll be right back here at Little Easy Restaurant, 634 Julia Street in downtown New Orleans, man. Make sure that you come through. They got them $3 shots for y'all.
Come get these $3 drinks, please. If you ain't going to the game, come get you some food. Come get you one of these press food boys and one of these $3 drinks.
Exactly, man. Get your po' boy on, man. Get your po' boy on, man. But look, $3 shots every time the Saints score, $3 shots before the Saints score. So you're gonna get a $3 shot. So it sounds pretty good to me. And also take advantage of some of these really good drinks out here, man. And a special shout out to the Little Easy, man. We'll make sure that we get them on the mic just a little bit later. Man, shouts out to all the love, man. Shouts out to Chosen that came through, Hoodie Jube. I think they're going to stay here to watch the game here. And, man, shouts out to everybody that's watching this right now, man. You all made this possible, man, in order for us to be able to do the State of Saints podcast on the road. And hopefully this won't be the last time we actually do something like this, man. Really do appreciate your time. Y'all enjoy the game. And until next time, all we got to say is I'll let you hit that Who Dat. Who Dat.
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. There's all dog around this mug. I'm good.